This may be short. Just gonna have to see how this plays out. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and this is our evening Facebook Live. Wanted to pop on because we are certainly tracking an active evening. Take a look at our first warning live Doppler radar. Why did I say that it may be very short-lived? Because it just depends on these storms. First off, there is this cluster of stormy weather. This is just outside of downtown Orlando. Incredible wind energy, and we're watching some broad rotation that's here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll put the information up here. National Weather Service has tagged it as a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. So it's not that it's a tornado warning, but rather just a severe thunderstorm warning that could spin up something. So there's that. That goes until 9:15, and the wind energy with all of these storms is something else. 60-mile-per-hour winds, but we come over to our first warning live Doppler radar, and first off, let me just turn off the storm tracks for just a minute. That's the Doppler radar trying to point out that there's some rotation. And let's let this scan through. I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, it's just still watching. If you listen, I mean, if you live in the Titusville area, you know, I don't know that it's actually getting to 74 miles an hour, but nevertheless, there's a big push of wind that's about to move in if you live in that area. So let me do this. I'm going to put a storm track on this part of the storm, and MIMS 907. If you live in Whispering Hills Golf Estates, 917. If you live in Titusville, 918, and Indian River City, 923. This, my friends, is a big push of wind energy, okay? All right, let's come back over to the metro. It's just lightly raining further to the south, though. Big, nasty thunderstorm complex. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning that for Poinciana and St. Cloud, the Weather Service actually tagged as having a considerable. Hearing the warnings. All right, I need to pop on the air for a new severe thunderstorm warning. That includes Volusia County. So come with me, and we will do this together. All right, let's get on the air. Let's do another cut-in. All right, I'll be right back. All right, you ready? There it is. I got you, buddy. Yep, let's do it.
Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, 9:05. We'll get you back to programming in a moment. New severe thunderstorm warning now for Brevard, Orange, and Volusia County. It's this nasty line of storms that is working over toward the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Titusville, Scottsmore, and MIMS. This is a complex that has been showing winds of 60+ miles an hour, a ton of lightning, and as it works over I-95 and gets over to the Space Coast, the concern is, of course, damaging winds and hail. Hail indicated around 1 inch in diameter, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let's do this. Let's put a storm track on this. So if you live in the area, you know when these storms will be moving in, okay? Titusville at 9:11, Sharps at 9:31, Courtney 9:35, 9:47 for Cocoa, and Cape Canaveral around 10 o'clock. This severe thunderstorm warning continues right through 10 o'clock. Other than that, we've got a nasty thunderstorm complex down here around Kissimmee and Poinciana. Severe thunderstorm warning in the Poinciana area, working over towards St. Cloud. Considerable threat for damage in this one. Wind speeds upwards of 70 miles an hour. We're going to continue to track the radar on air and online. You can do the very same thing. Stay with West 2. We'll keep you up to date. All right. So it's an active evening, very active evening. So that's where we're at, my friends. I apologize. Like I said, not sure how much of the coffee talk discussion we're going to be able to have tonight, but I do want to make sure to show you a couple of things before I cut you loose. So we know there is a lot of stormy weather out there. Let's get right back over to our first warning Doppler radar. That cell that I was just showing you, that's the one that the National Weather Service issued that severe thunderstorm warning for, okay? So there you go, Scottsmore, Titusville, Mims area. A lot of people have been mentioning this on the social media channels, talking about the unbelievable lightning there, and I've been seeing it. It's been wicked. And if you're wanting to watch your TV show, I get it, and I do apologize, but we got to do what we got to do at the end of the day. You know, so that's where it's moving. It will be offshore shortly. Let's come back over to the metro area. It's turned a little quieter here. That nasty thunderstorm complex is now turned to just some light showers. But down to the south, there's still a lot of instability. Watching these thunderstorms firing up over Osceola County. See that around Kissimmee? Let's interrogate this a little bit on our first warning Doppler radar. And those brighter shades, you know, the brighter the color, the more the wind. Our Doppler radar here approaching, if you live in Titusville, it's not a tornado warning or anything, but, you know, we're talking about 55 mile per hour winds, upwards of 60 mile per hour winds. You know, that's going to be damaging. Titusville, it's getting right up now to I-95. So if you live in these areas, it's not tornado precautions, but it's the kind of thing where, you know, and as the live radar sweeps through, it's just going to update the positioning of that wind. That wind energy is now reaching I-95. Again, this is our live Doppler radar, and it's a quick turn of the wind, and it's a push of wind right over Park Ave there. That's the Whispering Hills Golf Estates. What is that? Knox McCrae Drive, Sand Pine Circle, Fox Lane. Those pink shades on our radar, that's the big wind energy, my friends. That's the big wind energy. So if you live in that area, just know, again, it's not a tornado warned cell or anything. Just want to look at the different. I mean, that's the Melbourne Doppler radar. Looks a little different than ours, but still equally, you know, the Melbourne radar is going to be closer. There's your 55 mile per hour winds, you know, and so ours is picking up about the same thing, just north of State Road 50 here. Okay, so if you live in that area, that's why the National Weather Service has that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Okay, so there's that severe thunderstorm warning. It includes 100 or so thousand people. It's not, you know, the biggest mass. Now we come down here to Kissimmee, Poinciana, still watching winds, but not nearly what it was a little bit ago. The Melbourne radar is picking up on some big winds still. Look at that. Yeah. So the Melbourne radar is picking up on some big winds, and that wind energy is eventually going to be working over toward Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, and our friends that live out that direction. So if you live in those areas, be ready. And then, of course, this line here out near Wedgefield and Bithlo is eventually going to be moving over toward Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, and the like. So that's where we're at on our radar. Let's go back out to the wide perspective. We're in our lower range, severe weather kind of mode. So you can actually see that our beam isn't even picking up the rain beyond Central Florida. We've got it kind of fine-tuned to just indicate storms and winds around Central Florida. This is our severe weather mode, all right? So what does Futurecast show for this evening? Let me dial up the latest models, and then I'll get to your questions. Don't you worry. All right. Well, that's kind of comical, isn't it? Showing the storms exiting by midnight. All right, that makes sense. So I did have somebody that was asking me if this stuff around now is the stuff that was supposed to move in the morning? And the answer is no. There's another round of shower and thunderstorm activity coming in tomorrow morning. Here's Futurecast on that. Okay, there's 3 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, kind of clearing on out, right? So tomorrow's morning commute will be stormy in our northern areas, and then just after that morning commute, starting to work into the metro, and then little by little, late morning into the afternoon, that rain will clear, and we may get another round of storms trying to fire up in spots tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. It's not going to be as bad, but it's going to be one of those things. So when we look to the forecast, here's where we're at for tomorrow's forecast, okay? Starting off with showers and thunder showers, particularly in our northern locations, and then kind of working more and more in across the rest of the area. Let's see here. We have no power in Polk County. Lisa says that storm was no joke. Hail quarter size. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning for Brevard, Orange, and Osceola with a considerable threat. All right, I'm going to have to go, people. Storms tomorrow. I'll see you at 8 o'clock.